Hi there, Grape Shot here with another game of Mechabellum. Sweet, let's get into it. I'm kind of hoping to get to play Speed Specialist today. I haven't played Speed Specialist in a long time. Let's see what we're offered though. Okay, these are some exciting options. This Supply Specialist is very good. I think Giant Specialist is probably realistically the best specialist right now, but I've been trying to avoid Fang starts. Missile Specialist, this is also pretty good. Let's do this Missile Specialist. There's a Steel Ball strategy I've been wanting to try. So, I've been having a lot of trouble making use of this kinetic charge tech. And I think that a lot of the reason I'm having this trouble is because of placing my steel balls in the corners and then getting forced to pretty early by a mobile beacon. And the reason this is happening is because the opponent is able to go like a sledgehammer or crawler type flank that is really bad. And so if you've seen the strategy where you put like a collection of worms in the middle or a collection of rhinos and then you mobile beacon them onto either or tower, I want to do a strategy kind of similar to this, but using steel balls. And so I want to set up the steel balls in a way that can be pretty easily mobile beacon. So this might even be like a thick cluster of steel balls at some point. And I'm gonna obviously, I think I need to lean a little bit onto this side. I'm probably even back this up a little bit. Just because of the starting tower configuration. So something like this. And that way, if I deploy like another steel ball here, here, and here, I'll be able to mobile beacon them pretty easily onto this tower when I would like to make that change. And just try to avoid playing in the corners altogether and not give our opponent too much rope to interact with what we're doing. So we're against a Tarantula Arklight start, which funnily enough I actually think is probably one of the best Tarantula starts right now. Just get rid of your Tarantulas. I actually have a lot of respect for this start. I think that going Marksman Specialist is really powerful and kind of a good way to overcome that issue. Okay, so Wasp is offered, Fang is offered. I mean, the Wasp is probably good even with the Fang being offered. We're gonna definitely be missing here. Maybe my opponent is just planning on shielding. I could save, seeing as there's a bunch of units coming down that can be missiled, I might just save the missile. I think I will go for the Fang option. Fang up here. And then this is looking like probably an Arklight turret. Move this up a little bit. Go for Arklight, crawler. Yeah, the whole thing I was describing with steel balls is not something we're going to try like early on in the game. I mean, the one thing I will say is with the way we've started our steel balls, shielding there does seem a little unlikely. I just don't imagine my opponent would be able to like keep that shield over. I guess we want like a pretty tight cluster here. So for that reason, maybe I do just take this missile. Like if he's shielding here, that shield is definitely going down. So let's do it. Okay, so he does shield, which makes sense, but also I think he's just hoping that this very steady flow of crawlers is going to be enough to stop the steel balls from ever getting onto this shield, which it might be, but it probably isn't, especially when we go double Arklight this turn. And assuming we take this shield down, we're going to be in a really good situation. Which it does look like we're going to. And the Fangs worked out really well into the Wasp. I mean, I'm going to continue to do the same thing here. And if my opponent wants to shield again, go for it. Subsidized steel ball. Yeah, I'm just not triple deploying steel balls for a long time, so I don't think I can afford to take this card. I do think it will be worth it by the end of the game, but I think I'll lose too much tempo. Okay, well, we're going to start with Shockwave, I believe. And we can go ahead and deploy another steel ball into our cluster. Probably right here. And just go more Arklights, I suppose. I mean, maybe I want... Wait, let me go back. Maybe I want a single marksman. I don't want my opponent to be able to get back into the game by getting us with, like, a Phoenix this turn, which would be pretty reasonable. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna do an absolute lineup of Arklights here. Thing like this. Okay, let's level this. So now, my options here are another Arklight right here, or a marksman. I think I'm gonna go for the marksman. I just feel a little more insulated against things that might cause me to suddenly lose this turn by going for the marksman play. And it is just going to be an Arklight mirror. This missile is very nice. I think it's going to be hard for our opponent to not lose the turn when we're able to get that missile. And you know what, I should probably put another crawler in front of the front steel ball to prevent the insta-locks from the marksman. But, you know, that's not like a huge concern or anything. Yeah, the other thing is, like, the marksman does just help us a little bit with the wasps. I might even just level up my Fang, though, as a way to be a little more insulated against that. Shield airdrop is offered. I expect our opponent will take that. I guess we're probably going to take this, too. The Wasp offered is kind of interesting, but I'm not super into that yet. So let's take this and pick up our kinetic charge. Yeah, we're giving up taking range Arklight this turn. Look at this. Just an absolute wall of Arklights. I feel a little more comfortable doing this now that I get the shield airdrop. And then I want to drop a crawler here. Take our damage enhancement and take... I'm going to take the Fang level up, actually. Make it a little bit easier to deal with these wasps. And it does... 269. It doesn't make us survive an attack from an Arklight. That is interesting. Okay, actually, I'm not going to take that level up. Well, it helps. Does it help with Shockwave? A little bit? Okay, you know what? I'm going to take it anyways. No. It's just going to die. I'll probably have to go a different answer to this or start Wow. Yeah, maybe start missling it. Our opponent's definitely going to be shielding more in the late game. He goes a Wasp on this side, but I mean, we have Fangs already. So, not sure what that's about. That doesn't seem particularly scary to me. So the stream of crawlers is doing a lot. It is preventing our steel balls from getting through for sure. Oh, I see. He ranged the wasps. Wow, very interesting. Okay, so like wasp carry is getting shown. I mean, sure. I'm already an Arklight. I'll probably just end up doing the Arklight thing. Nothing super interesting here. The Overlord is offered, which is a little bit scary. But you know what? I want to do Arklight stuff, so I'm going to do Arklight stuff. Marksman on this side. To help us deal with a potential Overlord threat coming out. I want to pick up my mobile beacon this turn. I'm going to start to do this play. Like so. Arklight over here. I'm not going to answer these wasps yet. I want to see if my opponent goes more wasp, because I might be interested in taking this Arklight tech. Which I kind of expect my opponent will go more wasps. And another Arklight here. And then let's go. Oh, I only have... I see, I bought the marksman this turn. Yeah, I guess HP enhancement is looking pretty good for our board. And I'm still gonna pass on this level up. Sure, let's do this. I think there's some chance our opponent will shield, so this is gonna be good either way. The range on the Wasps is really interesting. I'm not quite sure what that's about. Oh, and we see Hacker coming out. Very interesting. Okay, so maybe we'll go our own Wasps then, instead of using Arklight as an answer to Wasp. Because the Hackers are very good against our absolute lineup of Arklights right there. So. Yeah, going into our own... we could also go into Mustang, but that's pretty bad against our opponent's Arklight carry. So I think going into Wasp seems pretty reasonable at this point. The shield did come down on this side. Yeah, definitely gonna keep going for this mobile beacon play. This impact seems pretty good. I wonder... No. Let's just take this missile. Hopefully it helps break this shield. I'm gonna continue to grab a good bunch of these. And yeah, I think Wasp is sounding pretty nice here for us. We might end up going into a Wasp battle, but I'm okay with that prospect. And I mean, we could... No. There's not a whole lot else to do here. I guess I should probably put down... Now, I have to go 3 Wasps this turn, because if my opponent counters back with Wasps next turn and I only went 2, it could be really awkward. I do wish I had a Crawler back here. It's probably worth range enhancing. If we lose a turn to Hackers, they do like a considerably large amount of damage. So yeah, this will be fun. See what happens. Oh, he shields, but we're gonna hit both shields with both spells and, you know, pretty much kill both of them. That's actually pretty nice for us. And our opponent does not have Wasp. I mean, it's kind of hard to imagine our opponent doesn't answer our Wasp with Wasp. So maybe we'll preemptively take range on them next turn. I think or not range, I mean anti-air. I think I probably will. We don't have like enough HP to play with like a swing against us the next turn, so. And definitely need to start shielding to slow down the Hacker onslaught. Oh, perfect, shield airdrop. Obviously there's an EMP offered, but I need to start putting down shields either way. Take this and triple deploy. I think I'd rather just go pretty strong onto this side. I mean, I guess we risk getting over-caught on the EMP. So going a little more spread out and not putting one here when there's very likely to be an EMP right here seems pretty reasonable. And take these level ups. And continue to do, and this play has been pretty much unanswered. Obviously we would like to be taking this high mobility. I could maybe even sell this marksman to get a high mobility this turn. That's probably worth doing. The high mobility could make a big difference in how this turn goes. Yeah, so Wasp anti-air comes out, but we have, this is what we were hoping would happen. We have many more Wasps and more levels down, which should help us win this like neutral trade. And yes, there's some really good hard counters like Fortress that can come out and punish us for being like a full Wasp carry. But our life totals are pretty low. This game is ending next turn like a lot of the time. So being able to win this turn and, you know, kind of assuming we guessed correctly what our opponent would do, it's going to be a big difference. If we had guessed incorrectly this turn, yeah, that would have been pretty brutal for us. Level 3 tower comes out. We could attempt to cheese this tower with this level 5 Sabertooth. So this does 44. I'm going to be taking this or selling this either way. 60,000 damage. So let's see. No. Okay. I mean, it doesn't help us too much because the steel balls are going to be able to take this tower either way. So let's go ahead and take our enhancements for the turn. I would definitely like to continue going into our steel balls, but we'll have to see if let's go ahead and put a shield up here. We'll have to see maybe even another shield. Shields are looking really powerful against what we're up against. Do we want to take a tech on these? I think the answer is taking shield tech is probably going to be really good. It helps us a lot in the matchup against if our opponent goes like Mustang or a less expected counter this turn. Just take our Arklight levels. Not sure exactly where else I would want a missile, so this seems pretty good for now. Okay, so we see Elite Marksman coming out. I don't think that's going to be too strong of a swing in favor of our opponent. It just doesn't help him with anything that we're doing. And the Rhinos are like decent against us. They brick us for a second, but we should be able to get through those pretty quickly. And this is looking pretty promising. I believe this is lethal. Yeah, it is. Another fun game. Let's take a look at what happened. So, we kind of won the Arklight mirror in the early game. Our opponent did this crawler staircase, which I really do not suggest. And I definitely don't suggest into missile specialist. Obviously, we only got one missile strike through, but it forced our opponent to play around protecting this a lot. So what is the advantage of doing what this opponent did? The advantage is that you devalue flanking while still allowing yourself to have a nice distribution of crawlers. And it was a nice hard counter to our start with a stared steel ball. But this whole mobile beaconing strat actually worked out really nicely. And we were able to just continuously mobile beacon every turn to this side. And our opponent's response was to go for fortification, which is not very good against steel balls, right? This is a really efficient way to scale health, and steel balls are countering units that scale health. So think of this as like being pretty comparable to putting like giant units that can't attack in front of the tower, right? And that's just not going to work very well against steel ball. So yeah, I was pretty happy with this change. I lost some games earlier this week where I tried to go kinetic charge steel balls in the corner and got pretty punished. So that worked out pretty well. And taking aerial specialization, kind of predicting that our opponent with already teched Wasps was likely to use that as their counter, was our biggest swing in our favor this game. Hacker's very good. If you are going to go hacker range, I highly suggest going more hackers. I think this turn that our opponent went armor enhancement Rhino, going more hackers should have been a consideration. But also, I mean, probably going more Wasps would have been even better. And our opponent did go more Wasps that turn. So yeah, and I guess it's just one of those situations where the Wasp mirrors are really interesting. I think that a big point of mine is if you suspect a game might be going into a Wasp mirror, immediately like make sure you're ahead in your total net worth of Wasps on board, because on the turn that the Wasp mirror happens, you need to be ahead, or you'll just, because if you lose that turn and both players spend all their money deploying Wasps for the rest of the game, the person who won that turn will always win. And there's not a good way to get out of that, right? If you can get into Fortress like your Giant Specialist, or the game goes long enough that you can just unlock Fortress without losing a big swing. That's the best way back in, right? Fortress is really good against anti-air Wasp. And Mustang doesn't do it. You couldn't, like, if our opponent went 3 Mustangs this turn, it definitely wouldn't have done it. The Rhinos are not so good against us. Like, what is this Rhino doing over here? It's just going to die to my mobile beacon. I guess it's probably even going to just die to the Wasps. Yeah, Wasps are not super weak against armor. It's definitely good, but they do enough damage that it doesn't just shut them out. So anyways, thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.